Hi people, Marino Racing Bus here again. Yeah, it's been a while since I recorded a video. I think I already mentioned in an earlier video that the plain and simple reason for that is that there's nothing to record about subject-wise. Anyways, as you can tell from the header, this video is going to be about something I haven't covered before, a general topic, a miscellaneous subject, which is ghosting. The concept of ghosting. Most of you watching this are familiar with the concept of ghosting. And ghosting is a relatively new term. So I'm going to discuss briefly what ghosting is and more importantly how to cope with ghosting, with being ghosted. Ghosting, plain and simple, is when someone someone that you've communicated and or socialized with, all of a sudden ceases communication with you in an indirect way. Through apathy, so specifically by ignoring you deliberately or inadvertently, or simply not communicating with you. So, for example, an acquaintance of yours, someone that you met yesterday, and you spoke, whether it's through social media like WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, whatever, or you spoke face to face, and then all of a sudden, when you communicate with the person, the following day, again via the same mediums, although ghosting is more difficult to do when there's physical contact face to face. It usually happens online. It happens through a medium where people can hide behind a screen and whatnot. And then the person simply doesn't reply. Okay, you can tell that the person has seen your messages, but the person simply doesn't reply. You could also say the person could block you. Anything can happen, but that's pretty much the gist of it in terms of ghosting. Or all of a sudden, if you see the person on the street and you greet the person pretends like he or she doesn't see you, and the person avoids any kind of contact with you whatsoever. Like I said, to the point where you can tell that it's deliberate. Okay, in some instances you're not sure, but generally speaking, it's deliberate. That's what ghosting is essentially. And nowadays, a lot of people ghost each other for all kinds of reasons. I personally, as straightforward as I am, even if I say so myself, I've never ghosted someone. I mean, I rarely ghost people. I have ghosted people, but on rare occasions. If I ghost you, then that means that you are such a pain in the ass that you're not even worth you're not worth the trouble for me. You behave so unpleasantly that I don't even deem you worthy of telling you to get lost or to bluntly put fuck off. Not gonna lie. And I'll usually just straight up ignore you, but not even ignore you in any way. I'll ignore you in the way of blocking you or similar. I'll straight up just ignore you. For me, I'm literally done with you. You're like case closed. You're ancient history. I've rarely ghosted people. People in general that ghost others, I'm not gonna lie to you, people that ghost others are usually people that don't have the audacity to openly tell the person, hey listen, I'd rather not communicate with you, I would rather not want anything to do with you, or I'd rather just plain up cease contact. This is something that I have that's easy for me to do, I'm not gonna lie. I've done it in the past. I've openly told people as in, hey, I'm not gonna lie, I'm cutting you out of my life. I don't want anything to do with you anymore. Don't take it the wrong way. I mean this in a monotone, flat way. And the reasons are thus and thus and thus and thus and thus. I distinctly remember this back in the day when my state of mind shifted and to a more elevated, enlightened state. And back in the day when, life was very hard to say the least, and you automatically attract negative types to you. So basically, I had a bunch of deadbeats as friends, offline as well as online. And when I cleaned house, because of my exalted state of mind, this was 4 years ago. For me, it's like lifetimes ago. 2017 approximately. I openly told people this. I got mixed reactions. You think too highly of yourself, blah, 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 blah. I literally didn't give a shit. I was like, I don't care. Bottom line, the message is clear, right? We're done. I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Bye-bye. But I have the stones, even if I say so myself, the cojones to do so. But the average person, especially people nowadays, people that are very touchy-feely, very sensitive, okay, especially women. No offense to women, but you know what I mean. They simply they don't have the audacity to do stuff like that. So usually you'll be left with people, with them ignoring you. You can also notice this in dating or in romantic interactions. And like I mentioned before, it's harder to do face to face, obviously. It's a lot harder to ghost someone face to face, but since we live in the era of social media where people primarily communicate with each other on a global level online, then ghosting is common. Never hearing back from the person, never doing this from the person, never that from the person. Okay, I mean, it's happened to me also. I've had, not often, but there have been one or two occasions where people have ghosted me, where I've never heard something from someone before. I mean, I've never heard anything from anyone anymore after communicating with them. And in the instances, obviously I didn't mind, nor did I care. I literally don't give a rat's ass. But by the way, I'm apathetic like that, you know. I'm not someone that emotionally attaches himself to others. For me, if you're gone, you're gone. I could have known you for 20 years. We could have been best friends. I could have saved your life, or the opposite. I just don't care. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not the kind of guy that misses people. I'm cold like that, at an emotional level, very frigid. You know, it has its benefits as well as drawbacks, like anything else, like everything else, anything and everything else. But for me, about the principle, what hypothetically speaking slightly bothered me in the rare instances that someone ghosted me was the fact that there was no reason for ghosting me. I was like, huh? I was like, what? Because I was aware of it. I'm like, yeah, this person is ghosting me. The guy or the woman is pretending like he's not seeing my messages or reading my messages anymore. But I simply found it weird. I was like, huh? I just find it weird. I'm like, huh? There's no reason. Just out of nowhere, the person spoke to me yesterday like there was nothing wrong up to yesterday, and then all of a sudden nothing. I'm like, huh? There's nothing I did. There's nothing the person did. Nothing has changed. So what prompted the ghosting? But yeah, unfortunately, you'll encounter stuff like that, especially nowadays. People are, especially in my line of work or in my line of in my profession or what I do and what I occupy myself with. You'll find very people that are very moody and unstable personality-wise. They're unstable of character. So this also didn't surprise me, but I was just like, wow, okay. I didn't care, but I was like, yeah, if there's a legitimate reason for you ghosting someone, or let me rephrase that, there should be a legitimate reason for why you ghost someone. But if you just ghost me out of nowhere, without any reason, I'm like, wow. No idea what the hell's wrong with you, I mean, so to speak. But I know what's wrong with them. But yeah, like I said, it's not something that you need to think twice about or over, or that you need to bother your head over. I never did. But I simply found it somewhat comical or somewhat amusing. So, anyways, now you know what ghosting is if you were unaware of it. And the important question now, how to deal or how to cope with ghosting. With either being ghosted, I don't have to specifically elaborate on doing the ghosting. If you ghost someone, then the reason will simply be that you don't want to hear from that person anymore. The only advice I can give people watching this is that if you ghost someone, or when you ghost someone, make sure that it's for a good bona fide reason, and it all depends on the situation. If you can tell the person, and your senses tell you that you should tell the person directly that you'd rather not communicate with them anymore, no problem. But there are instances where no answer is required or no reply is required. As the saying goes, no answer is also an answer. So, my advice is simply listen to your senses. Your senses will tell you if you need to ghost someone or not. But I would advise you to do it in an aggressive way. Hypothetically speaking, an aggressive way. For example, blocking the person. Let there be no doubt in your intentions or of your intentions. So the message is clear, as in, hey, you're telling this person that we're done, with the blocking and everything. But in relation to being ghosted, my advice is to simply not fuss over it. Don't bother over it, or don't think twice about it. Just like I did. For the sake of principle, you can say simply okay, this person is ghosting me. Person blocked me. Fine. If you know what the reason is, but the only question here is the reason, as in, why did this person block me? If you did something wrong, or if there was any kind of reason, then you'll notice it right away. You'll be aware of it right away, as in, okay, that's why. So simply move on. Don't bother yourself over it, or don't fuss over it. Don't try to chase the person in any way, shape, or form, or try to mend whatever was, so to speak, broken or hypothetically broken. Just don't bother with it. Move on. Okay, this is quite normal. People come and go in life. People that are meant to stay in your life will stay. But when the time has come and one party either says goodbye, or both parties simply fall out of favor with each other, then just go with the flow. Literally just move on. Don't break your head over it. Don't attach yourself emotionally to people to the point where you end up chasing them, because you're better than that, and it would be detrimental to your own self-worth. You're basically degrading yourself. If the person, like I said, if you get ghosted, then the only question you should ask yourself is if it's unclear if there's a reason, as in, what's the reason. But if there is no reason, like in my case, for example, you just go like, bye-bye, or better said, sayonara. And the story, you really don't fuss over it. It's not worth fussing over. It's that unimportant, literally that unimportant. So yeah, that's all. See you guys later. Bye.